Hello, everyone. Thank you for listening and watching. My name is Nefertiti, and you can find my information in the description box below. Welcome to episode 4 of Self-Love Sundays. And today we're talking about how you feed yourself. At the time of me recording this video, we are moving into the first half of 2020 retrograde season. So this is about us going within, pulling our energy back, and reevaluating our lives. So how do you feed yourself? We're going to look at 4 areas: mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical. Because how you feed yourself determines how you are going to live your life, how your lifestyle is going to support you or hinder you. So we have control over what we can allow in our life. We have control over what we allow to feed us. And this is so important. And oftentimes we will be focused on one area more than another. And I feel like there has to be harmony. Balance is subjective. We try to have balance, but in reality, if we're living our life in quote unquote balance, that means we're dedicating, for example, 25% of our life to this, 25% of our life to that. As human beings, we have the ability to reason, and we also have areas of our life that are favorites of ours, right? So when it comes to lifestyle design and how you are feeding yourself in these areas, it's helpful to examine if there is an area of your life that needs more attention, bringing that aspect into harmony with the other aspects, bringing it up to speed, up to par. So if you're somebody that is very much in touch with your spirituality, but maybe physically you're not up to par, maybe you're suffering from an illness, or perhaps you are needing to lose some weight or just to get healthier in general, that would be an area of your life that you would need to focus your attention on for a little while, primarily in order to bring it back into balance with the other ones so that there is harmony. So let's look at the 4 areas of feeding ourselves. So mentally, what's going on in your mind? How do you talk to yourself? Are you feeding yourself with positivity, with encouragement, telling yourself that you're doing the best that you can, with the understanding, awareness, and knowledge that you have, with the resources that you have? Or are you beating yourself up? Beating yourself up, criticizing yourself, these things never work. They don't feed you, they don't support you. They're not really able to provide you with solutions. So learn to speak to yourself in kind and loving ways. And this takes practice. This takes repetition, because ultimately what you're doing is digging up that core belief of I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, whatever it is. And so you have to be consistent with speaking to yourself in loving and positive ways, even if it feels weird or strange, because eventually you will establish those affirmations as core beliefs. You're paying attention to what is going into your field, from television, from radio, from other people, from your environment. It's very important that we watch what goes in and decide if it serves us or not. Our subconscious mind never sleeps, and it's going to pick up everything, and it doesn't have a sense of humor, doesn't have the ability to differentiate whether or not the information coming in is for you or for somebody else. So when it comes to self-criticism, especially, be mindful that your subconscious mind is always listening. And with the law of attraction, you're going to not only attract other thoughts and ideas like that negativity that you might be putting in, but then you start to create experiences based on those beliefs. So pay attention to what goes in. Are you deliberately taking time out every day to feed your mental body, to read, to meditate, to journal, to just be? Right? We're bombarded with information every single day, with advertisements, with other people telling us how to live, other people telling us what to think. But it's our responsibility as sovereign human beings to pay attention to what's going into our mental field. And if it does not resonate with us, if it does not support us, to reject it. But not only to reject it, because nature abhors a vacuum, we need to fill that space in with information, knowledge that will support us in our growth and evolution. Let's move on to the emotional body. How are you feeding your emotional self? Your emotional energy is the currency of the universe. Our emotional energy is also highly coveted by darkness, sometimes by other people that are being manipulated by the opposition. So how are you supporting yourself emotionally? Are you doing your shadow work? Are you scheduling time for creativity and having fun and relaxing? These are all very important for your emotional health. Getting out of situations that are emotionally draining. Now, we all go through times when there's just things we gotta do that we don't feel like doing. I'm not talking about those things. I'm talking about the situations that we get in where our emotional body is constantly accosted in a negative way. Surrounding yourself with energy vampires, or not speaking up for yourself, not acknowledging your feelings and your hurts, just maybe pushing them down or stuffing them until you can't do that anymore, because maybe those old emotions that you've been trying to stuff down manifest into an illness of some sort. So how are you feeding yourself emotionally? What makes you feel good? Yoga is very, very good for emotional health. It's also great for our physical health, but yoga specifically taps into that emotional body through hip stretches, hip poses, hip openers. So give those a try, maybe butterfly pose or pigeon pose, or even child's pose. These are great for supporting your emotional body and really tuning in and seeing what's going on with you. So if you are in a state of emotional crisis, 9 times out of 10, it's because you have not been dealing with the emotional slush that has maybe come up to your awareness a few times, saying, hey, I'm here. Let's deal with this. Let's dissolve this emotion. Let's discover why we have this emotion. Crystals, too, are very great for your emotional health because they allow you to tune into their frequency. Specifically, crystals that contain lithium or crystals that are connected to the heart chakra or sacral chakra will be helpful for your emotional well-being. Our creations, so it's important that we are creating. You can tap into your creativity in a million different ways. It all depends on what you like and how you are creative. Some people are creative in the kitchen. Some people are creative with artistic pursuits like painting and drawing. Some people are great musicians and singers. But there's millions of ways to tap into your creativity. But this is what supports your emotional body because it allows you to express that emotion in a creative way. So it's not being pent up. When you're serving your purpose, it involves serving other people in some way. And this makes you feel good. Most people nowadays, because of the density that occurs in this world, their favorite radio station is WIIFM, right? What's in it for me? And that will make you feel good temporarily, getting, that instant gratification of whatever it is that you want. But if you want true lasting happiness, you must find a way to be of service, because that's the way that the emotional exchange continues. I do something to serve you that's from my purpose, from my heart space, and then you feel good, and that enables you to live a better version of yourself and possibly inspires you to be of service. So let's talk about how we feed our physical bodies. Obviously, there's food. right? And this is a big deal for people. I've been a personal trainer, nutritionist for almost 20 years. And talking to people about their nutrition can be very challenging, especially if they're not willing to make the adjustments, if there's still some resistance. But we've heard it a million times. You are what you eat. When you eat food, it gets digested and assimilated, and certain nutrients go to certain places, and then the rest is eliminated as waste. So if you're feeding your body what I call inert substances, dead food, all the time, then naturally you're going to not feel as great. So that's going to affect your emotional body. But you're not giving your body the nutrition that it needs to function at its optimum level. I always recommend that people eat clean or eat nutritionally sound at least 95% of the time. And I highly, highly recommend a plant-based diet, but there are lots of ways to eat that are not plant-based where you can be healthy. We know this. But I always recommend that you eat more living foods because you're alive. And what you put into your body affects all of the other aspects, mentally, physically. If you're not physically well, if you're not physically, nutritionally sound, your brain is not functioning properly, and you're probably not really able to process your emotions properly either, because you don't feel good on a physical level. And remember, with the law of attraction, like attracts like. So when you're in that lower vibrational state due to your food choices, then you can be assured that you're attracting other thoughts, situations, ideas to yourself that match that lower frequency. Definitely follow a nutrition plan that is backed by research. There's a lot of anecdotal stuff out there, but you don't have to guess when it comes to this information. It's out there, it's available. So find a program that resonates with you. Allowing yourself to rest is another way that we feed our physical bodies and emotional. And this is a hard one for me. When we live in a society where we feel like we have to go, go, go. We always have to be doing something, accomplishing something. So many people feel guilty for getting rest. And then what happens is you're forced to get rest. You're forced to surrender. At least that's been my experience. So I've been really working on that, just allowing myself time to rest, to recuperate. A lot of that has to do with feeling unworthy too. Like you haven't done enough, that you don't do enough. So why should you rest? So if we can consciously make a choice to schedule in time for rest and relaxation, it'll just make our lives more harmonious. Exercise. This is another touchy subject for people, but your body is meant to move. So how are you supporting yourself when it comes to your physical fitness? Are you sticking to an exercise routine that keeps you healthy, that keeps you strong, keeps you fit? I find it very interesting that people set goals and big goals for their life, but you can't even stick to your workout goals for a week. Whatever physical activity you choose, it should be something that you love, or you can at least tolerate, because that's the only way that you're going to really remain consistent. Hydration is another component of physical health. Our bodies are 80% water. Your brain is 80% water. So if you're not hydrating yourself properly, you can assume that you're not even able to think properly. I always recommend at least 3 liters a day. If you're trying to lose weight, then bump that up to a gallon. Maybe use an app if you need help with remembering to drink the water that you need every single day. But this alone is life-changing. I've worked with clients who have told me that just by increasing their water intake, That has helped them to sleep better, have more mental clarity, their digestion has improved, and they're not as hungry. Because a lot of times when we think we're hungry, we're actually thirsty. And if you're thirsty, you're already dehydrated. What about your home, your living space? Is it supportive of you? Does it feed you? Does it nourish you? Is it clean and tidy, or is it cluttered and messy all the time? Our living environment can have a huge impact on our emotional well-being, our mental well-being. So again, this is another thing that connects to more than one area. So clean up your space. Use feng shui. Add some more plants. Keeping a routine to clean your house, right? On one day you clean the bathroom, one day you clean your bedroom, one day you clean the living room. Maybe have a daily cleaning routine and then a weekly, monthly routine for cleaning, and then of course do your spring cleaning. But maintaining your physical environment, your surrounding, is essential for your well-being. Let's talk about spirituality. How do you feed your spiritual body? Do you meditate? Do you call on specific energies, deities, angels, teachers, guides for help, for guidance, for wisdom? Because these energies are available. Are you trusting your intuition? Your intuition is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. And everybody's intuitive guidance is different. Trusting your intuition involves paying attention to the thoughts and impressions that you get. The messages that come through your intuition will never be messages that put you in fear. If that's the case, it's probably not your intuition. Remember that we live in a world of polarity, and all darkness needs is a crack. If they can find a wound in you, they're coming in for it. It's just a part of the reality that we live in. Feeding your spiritual body also requires that you spend some time in solitude. So you can see how this is connected to your emotional body as well. Because we have to be able to shut out the outside energies to really tap in, to tune in. So spending time in nature, spending time in meditation, contemplation, and getting sleep. Do you know when you sleep, that's when you are literally shutting down all resistance. Your conscious mind is going offline, so your subconscious mind has an opportunity to do its work. So before you go to sleep at night, set some intentions for your subconscious mind. What is it that you need to know? What is it that you want to accomplish? And see what comes through in your dream state, or perhaps maybe the next morning when you do your morning meditation. I hope this video was helpful for you. Let's really focus on that for the next 3 weeks as Mercury is in retrograde. Lifestyle redesign. How am I feeding myself mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually? So thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I look forward to speaking to you again really soon. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.